The beautiful fall colors just keep on coming. This started out like a lemon yellow, and now it's a golden yellow, and it's beginning to be a golden yellow with orange highlights in it. Now there's a challenge for you, Crayola. Make a color that just keeps changing. I just love what God does, especially when He draws your attention to it and you get the fullness of some things that He has done. So many things are going away, and these soon will be too, but until then, just look at all that beautiful color. I was admiring the marigolds this morning, taking pictures of them. So pretty, so many different colors of just the marigolds and sizes. That Dusty Miller is just, it's always beautiful to me. I love this soft color, and it softens everything, and any color you put with it, it just heightens the other color that you put with it. This is another little area I was admiring earlier when I was out here taking some still shots and just looking to see what's left in the garden, because like I say, so much of it is gone after our early frost, but so much is left, and the mums are really showing their beauty. And this is that pretty purple splash pepper that I love so much. And earlier I was just going up under the trees and taking pictures of the beautiful foliage. This is a redbud tree. It turns a beautiful golden yellow in the fall. This gives me so much beauty right here. There's that one beautiful mum, like a daisy mum, and then on the other side is the cushion mum, and just keeping on going around are more mums. And I noticed this little one here. Isn't that a beautiful creamsicle orange mum? I'm going to have to take a little piece of that and get more than one of those in my garden. I love the colors of the grasses right now too. At this pretty little rose. It didn't even mind that there was a frost, and neither really did this canna behind it mind very much. It's just kept right on going too. And I love the fall colors of this sedum. This one hasn't turned a lot yet, but I have one in front, and I'll show it to you in a little bit. That's just gorgeous. And I planted a Fothergilla. And oh, the colors, the fall colors on the Fothergilla are so gorgeous, and I looked for it and I couldn't find it. And then today I looked over here, and there's a little paper stake that I left in there, and you can see right above it, that is my Fothergilla. I know it's a tiny little thing, and I've tried it 2 or 3 times before and it didn't live, so I'm hoping that here with the house protecting it, that it will still make it through the winter and come back and become a big beautiful bush. It's so lovely when it gets all of its fall colors. It's literally pink and orange and yellow, just all blended in together. You can't find a more beautiful fall plant than a Fothergilla. And this is my red crepe myrtle. It's turning its beautiful dark fall colors. It's such a beautiful day today. Isn't it wonderful when we get those beautiful days just mixed right in with a cold in between, or the wind, and we've just had some of all kinds of weather, but today is beautiful, and I've got so much I need to be doing, and here I am out here doing this that I don't feel just real guilty. All these spots that are bare here used to be my dahlias, so they are inside snuggled in for the winter right now. Look at the sun shining through this chard. Isn't that pretty? Highlighting all that pretty red. I also took some close-ups of just the mums, all those beautiful colors. Look at this beautiful rose. Opened up so full. And my husband did get back here and trim these trees for me. So there's more room. We can actually walk through there, except for this salvia has laid over into my path, but that'll be easily removed because actually the root of them is back here. They've just gotten heavy and gotten wet and laid over into the path. But they're so pretty right now, I don't really want to bother them, but soon I'll go ahead and break those off and get them out of there. But they say these are wonderful for migrating hummingbirds, and I have seen some on here. And this pretty foliage is from my peach tree. And not to be outdone, this is from my pear tree. And this is my rain tree, which I've told you already, it is going. Hopefully this will be its last year. Not because it's not beautiful, but it certainly is. But all these old lanterns drop down, are full of seeds, and bring a bug called a red shoulder bug, or we just call them rain tree bugs. So we want to get rid of it, but it is a pretty tree. And I noticed this little mum has came right up into this little decor, and it's so pretty. I took its picture this morning. And here's my big blonde marigold. It's absolutely deep red right now. But most usually it's more like this color right here. It's kind of got a little red highlights into a I think it's called strawberry blonde, not big blonde, but strawberry blonde marigold. And these pretty little impatiens just never cease to amaze me. This one has been so pretty, and even after the frost, there it is, still as pretty as ever, maybe even more so. I know it won't last through a hard freeze, or maybe not even another frost, but it's so pretty. I'll hopefully remember this and use it here again next year. Another look at the beautiful foliage on the cattail stems. And here's this lovely sedum. Isn't that pretty? How it changes its color. Looks so pretty. And there's some more of the pretty mums. Here's some fixing to open. I think these are the daisy mums. Yes, actually you can see one of them right there has opened. And then here's some of that sedum again that changes color so pretty. It's just got to shine one last time before it dies away for the winter. And there's a shot up into the rain tree. That's why I loved it all these years that we've kept it, for this glorious fall color. And the firethorn or orange berry bush. Some more of the daisy mums. Marigolds. They look good all the time, but especially in the fall. That's just their time to shine. And there's more of the pretty mums. I wish I could show you even more, but I do have to get busy. Have the sheets off the bed and washed and ready to go back on, and just so much I need to do inside. But I've got to go one more time around and show you the front yard, because there's some things there I wanted to show you also. So we're in the front now. Look at these beautiful daisy mums. And look, so much has gone out of this little pot. And look at this fragile little green stuff right here. That's bacopa. And unbelievably to me, look at this beautiful little bacopa bloom. And the sun was shining on this little Celosia plant this morning, and it was just so pretty. And there's another pretty Celosia plant. Looking good today. And then here's some more. They don't look so good. They're a little ratty looking, but they're still pretty, and they hopefully will give me seed, and also hopefully not too much seed, because this can become a little bit invasive, but I like it, so I'm not ready to give it up yet, although I am trying to remove some of the invasive plants out of my garden. This is right over here, something I wanted to point out to you. Look at this pretty little mum here. This is a matchsticks mum, and I thought I had some of this actually in the ground, but I guess I planted it here in this pot, which is gorgeous. But I might want to take some of this and put in the ground. My mums usually do come back in pots without a problem, but I don't want to risk it. I want to put some in the ground too, to be sure and have this. Isn't that a pretty little mum? Over here is the sedum I wanted to show you that I mentioned I had in the front, that's changing to its pretty fall colors. I just love it. I think it shines more in the fall than it does through the summer, which it's pretty then too, but I love this pretty blend of green and gold. And I wanted to take you over to the burning bush. It's just really looking pretty this morning too. I got a few pictures of it, and this is another new bloom for my garden. Isn't that a pretty color? And again, I put it in a pot, but maybe I wanted to watch it better. Sometimes I can do that, but I will want to take a little bit of this and put it in the ground also, because I don't want to miss getting to save that and have it in the garden again next year. And look at this pretty pink Salvia. This is an annual Salvia, and it can get to be a problem, but right now it's just so pretty. I wouldn't even begin to think of calling it invasive. But it hasn't really got invasive for me, but it can get that way. And I did go ahead and come out and put some yellow mums. These are newly transplanted a couple of days ago, so they're kind of drooping over, but they'll put their roots down and make this spot hopefully even prettier for next year. I just thought that yellow between this, on either side of this orange mum would just really shine, and I think the yellow and red always complement each other also. And then this is on the end right down from that where I transplanted those yellow mums is this pretty burgundy red mum. And I put a yellow mum right here. I was telling you I thought I needed one there. Yellow and white can act like light bulbs, bringing your attention to the other colors. Sometimes they're just a little dark and shadowy if they don't have that white or yellow mixed in with them. And I love both colors, but for blending in, I guess I might prefer yellow, but white is a beautiful color in the garden too, and it does act like a light bulb to bring a light to a dark area. You can see that burning bush a little bit in the background there. So my husband went to visit his brother today, and I was going to get a lot done while he was gone. But the day just turned out to be too gorgeous to work. And all this beauty was out here in the garden. So I just had to come out here and just look at it and show it to you. But I promise I've got to get busy now. Or just real soon, maybe I could get this little girl up here first swinging. So she can stay outside and play and swing while I go in and work today. Look at this little tassel flower, it's filling out more. Too bad it had to wait till it's cold outside, which is not really, we've just had one frost, but it's actually pretty nice out today. But isn't that a pretty little flower? I think I would like to get some of those started where I'd have them coming up from seed every year. This is an orange one, and I've seen the yellow also. I think they have a red maybe. Hi, it's Nancy with Garden Scroll, and I'm going to take you for a scroll in the garden here in a little bit, but I wanted to tell you that we did cover things up, several things, not everything, but we covered a lot of the little garden art up, so hopefully it won't be totally destroyed this winter. The heat and the cold and the heat and the cold just kind of makes it all dilapidated if you don't. And I've been out gathering seeds. I got my Celosia seeds because we are going to have a hard freeze, or I don't know how hard it'll be, but it's going to be a good freeze this coming Thursday is what's predicted. So I wanted to get those seeds before everything turns brown, like this little crepe myrtle. Just a few days ago it was shining in all kinds of glorious color, and now it's all brown, and my Celosia stubble will also be all brown. So I wanted to get it, well, I could tell what colors they were, so if I want a particular color, buy another plant or in a different pot, another pot, I can have it all together and have it the color that I want it. So that's what I'm doing today. We had a good church service this morning. I'm totally enjoying the return of our former pastor. It's just an intermediate or intern pastoralship right now till we get another one, but hopefully, hopefully we will, and we've definitely enjoyed our pastor, so and his family. So just a minute and I'll take you the rest of the way around. So the garden is beginning to look a lot like it did when I first started doing the posts for the 2018 garden. So we're back to the beginning, and I'm going to do this one more clip. As far as I know right now, there may be another one or so following it when I actually put it on, but because we are going to get our freeze really this week sometime, I'm going to say that this one may be the last post for the season, and then we'll start. First of all, I'll start putting on all the season from the beginning to right now again, and then hopefully if it works out well, I'll go ahead and put next year's garden on for you too, if it's something that I think you would enjoy. I've done it quite a lot, like just recently. I put some little starts of things. This is a beautiful little mum right here. It's just scraggly right now, but I just put that down there. But it does have a small root, and it will grow and fill out and hopefully become a beautiful plant. And these are some more of the new ones that I've put in, and hopefully they will look very pretty, maybe even next year and in years to come. I put several of these in. So like I said, I've been very busy getting things caught up so that I can quit the garden and get busy cooking for our Thanksgiving reunion, which is held at my sister's home. Thank goodness. I don't know how she does it to cook all that and still keep a pretty house, because mine usually has food and stuff that I need for preparation all over the house, and especially the kitchen. It is not ready for guests when I get through cooking. This is another little mum I transplanted into this pot. Haven't really gotten anything to go very well there, putting annuals in it, so I thought I'll just try a perennial, because as you can see, that columbine right there has done wonderfully, and I clipped it back. So if you ever just want a pretty little green plant, just clip your columbine back and let it come back up, and it makes a beautiful little green plant. It's so hard to tell it all goodbye, and you can tell it's hard on the plants too. I don't think they want to leave. Look at this little rose moss. There's nothing left of the foliage, and yet it's still trying to bloom. Come to think of it, I was thinking today during our church services how the garden is, well, I've mentioned it before, how it has so many examples of life in it. And I was thinking of one of them is the fact that we don't know when our last season is going to come. I was hoping for a long fall. I really wanted it. I felt like I needed it. I honestly felt like I deserved it to get to actually enjoy it some, instead of just working it when it's so hot and then start gathering it in, because it's going away for the summer. We got to keep some seeds and some roots and things to try to get it to come back in next year's garden. But that was the end of the season. It came quickly, it came early, and we never know when our life is going to be ended earlier than we thought. We'll be right in the big middle of something, just like I was, because I wanted to do so much. I had so many plans still to do, and I wanted to see all the mums. I wanted to sit down and find my book that I've totally misplaced because I haven't had time to do any reading, but I did have one started, and so I was planning on getting that read. It was just a little collection of short stories, but it was good and I was enjoying it. And all the time I got to read it at all was at doctor's appointments while I was waiting and different things like that. But it was enjoyable, and I still hope to find it and finish reading it at some point, but it won't be in the garden most likely because it's just going to be too cold really, really shortly. It will be. So this is one of the plants, this Flamingo feather Celosia. This is one of the plants I was gathering seeds for. Actually, I thought I got all of these pulled up. I just went ahead and pulled the plant up after I gathered the seeds, but you can see the seeds there in that some of it is just, of course, chaff, but if you can see the tiny little black seeds in there, that's some of the stuff that I was saving for next year, and I'll just put those down here and see if any of them come up next year. Usually I do get some just volunteer, and that's great, but I always try to save a few just in case I don't get some volunteer. I can plant some more next spring. And I don't know when this one's going to go. I guess Thursday when we had that hard frost. It has been going. I've already said it, and I'll just say it again. It has been going since I put this in here in the spring. It has not stopped. It's just looked beautiful and more beautiful. And it's still looking beautiful. I just love it. I hate to see it go. But it's been wonderful for me. I could not complain. And I was just thinking, I hope that someday, before too long, we will have a long, beautiful fall. I know we've had them before because I've not even started covering things up and taking care of things for the winter before I started cooking, and actually even come back from my sister's house before we actually or just winterize the garden. But my husband and I did get out yesterday and do a bunch of that winterizing stuff. So we got our well house where it won't freeze, or where it'll have a little bit of heat in there to protect the pump from freezing. So we'll have water for the garden next year. And we covered up, like I said, a bunch of this stuff in the garden. And I rolled up my hoses and took the faucets, the hoses loose from the faucets so they won't freeze. So the faucets won't freeze. I don't know if I can get it on here, but I'm going for this because look at this pot. Everything's practically dead and a little bit of green, and then look at that forget-me-not scraggly little thing with that blue, that beautiful little spot of blue. And I'll definitely want to try to get seeds from this heliotrope too. I have not ever so far had any luck with these coming up from seed, but I just don't see why they wouldn't, so I'll definitely try them again. They're such a beautiful, beautiful plant. I wish they would bloom a little sooner so we could enjoy it longer. I cleared out some of my irises this week also. I've got this bed that has a lot of irises in it, and then one all the way in the back that I would like to trim down before the hard freeze get them. I'm not sure I'll get that done, but I will definitely try that, because for me they are a lot easier to clip. This back, it's still, you just still have to clip it, each little individual piece. But whereas most of the other plants in the spring, you can just break them off and throw them away, but the irises is not very easily broken off. They just stay on that rhizome, and if you pull it too hard, you're just going to pull the rhizome up. So, and it's just so much easier to find where to clip that off when they're green than when they're brown and twisted around. And well, when all of it looks like this little bit right here, it's just so hard to find where it's connected to the rhizome and where you can clip it off. So hopefully I will get that done. If not, I'll do it in the spring like I've been doing it, but that's just not the easy way. Not that there really is an easy way. This is where I clipped them back this week, and you can see, if I can get it down there, how I just clipped all that back, and then they probably won't need to be redone in the spring. They'll probably just come right back up from that spot. Here's another plant that I probably want to get a few more seeds from, although I did get a few from the back. So if I don't get around to that, I'm okay with it. And that is probably my favorite Celosia, even though I love them all. So probably not very many people would want their yard filled up with bags, but I don't have a place to bring them in, and I'm not sure that would be a good idea anyway, because it already takes such a long time just to come out and take all the coverings off in the spring, but it would really be a long time if you had to put each one and find a place for each one. This way I know where I want to put them because they're already there. I just take the covering off of them, and that does seem to save them from the elements so badly that they don't really ruin, or they don't ruin as easily. You know, they don't, I guess nothing lasts forever. Isn't that too bad? So this is the DVD where we're saying goodbye. Or I keep saying DVD, but actually this will just be a video clip on YouTube. I may someday make a DVD with it, but that's not what I'm doing today. So have a wonderful winter, a wonderful rest. And it won't seem like long before we're back at it again. Winters seem shorter than they ever have before, ever since I've started gardening. And that's my rest period, and it never really lasts long enough. Blessings and prayers for you and to you. I came out this morning to cover up another little garden art thing, and I saw this pretty gaillardia blooming by this basket for one thing, but also I saw this rose. I had one here once before, and it went back to the old rose, and I'm hoping this one will live and stay this color, but this is my brand new bloom this morning greeting me. Isn't that pretty? When I was thinking about, we never know when our season of life is ending, I was thinking about these little plants too. Like, do they know? I've got to read that book someday, What Plants Know. But do they know it's an imminent freeze is coming, and they won't be here very much longer? I wonder if they have any idea. They probably do. They're probably noticing all the little changes way before I notice them. Get this pretty toad lily. But it's just like I've heard people say, like at funeral services and different things, that people don't really know. They already have plans for the next day. There's plans in the making. We never stop making plans everybody that has passed away has a plan to do the next day or in their near future, and we don't know when that future is going to be over for us here on earth. And we thank God that we do have a chance for everlasting life because of what He did when He came and died for us on the cross. But we just never know how long our time on earth is, and I just wonder, do the plants know? Have they any idea that their season of life is coming to an end? And some of them, of course, will live again next year. They'll come back from the root, and others will have put down little seeds and will come up volunteer for next year's garden. I didn't cover these little girls, but I will maybe need to do that. I'm sure I should do that. Whether I get it done or not, I don't know. Look at the pretty colors the geraniums turn in the fall. And then I had to put these on there because we're so close to them, but this is what I was going for. Look at this beautiful mum just making a tiny little bouquet right here. We just came home from downtown, and the sun is shining so perfectly on this little celestial garden art. Isn't that pretty this morning? So I know that it's almost all gone, and tonight it most likely will be all gone. But let me show you something that I noticed right here. Look at that foxglove, another foxglove. I showed you the one, I think it's called Pam's Choice, the white one with the little red freckles. And I'm not sure, this is probably just a regular foxglove, and it happens to be a yellow and a peach color. But I was excited. I'm always excited to see a new bloom, even though it almost didn't bloom in time for us to really see how pretty it was, but it did. Isaiah 1:18. Come now and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool.